Are you a tourist? A pilgrim? Do you have a devotion to this glorious saint or just curiosity? It really doesn't matter. You, who have come through the gate of this estate, are standing on something similar to holy ground. It is the ground walked and played on by Saint Teresa. Here, opposite the main entrance gate, the palace house once stood just as it does today. It is the place where Saint Teresa's parents would spend the winter celebrating the intimate events of family life. The dove coops you see in the background used to be packed with birds, and it is one of the childhood images deeply imprinted on the saint's soul. So much imprinted that she eventually referred to her convents as dove houses. In this little village, Gotarrendura, Teresa's parents were married. The exact date is not known, but there is a document dating from November 14, 1509, in which Don Alonso, a widower who was once married to a third cousin of Doña Beatriz, committed himself and 1,000 gold florins and other valuables as dowry to proclaim his love and devotion to his new young bride. A few days later, the wedding was celebrated. The event was an important one for this simple village and its residents. For weeks previous, everyone was busy, and the comings and goings of preparations continued. Saint Teresa's mother, Doña Beatriz, was 15 years old and extremely beautiful. Although in later years they would encounter some economic problems, at the time of the marriage of Doña Beatriz and Don Alonso, her parents were quite wealthy and owned many houses with servants in the village and surrounding area. It is documented that a trusted servant named Juan Jimenez brought the bride and her mother, Doña Teresa de las Cuevas, from Olmedo in Valladolid to Gotarrendura. Juan Jimenez joined in the festivities, and everyone attending had a view of the bride, richly dressed in silk and adorned with gold jewelry. In 1510, their first son was born, Hernando de Almohada. He was followed by Rodrigo, and in 1515, the long-awaited daughter Teresa arrived. Her father, Don Alonso, writing in the family registry, states, "Just at dawn, around 5 or 5:30, on Wednesday, March 28th of the year 1515, my daughter Teresa is born." Her godparents were Don Vela Núñez and Doña María del Águila. The news of Teresa's birth spread with great jubilation, and her mother was filled with joy at the arrival of her baby daughter, her future confidant. Doña Beatriz de Almohada died a holy woman in Gotarrendura at the age of 33. Juan Jimenez, the servant mentioned earlier, was by her side, and he testifies that she was brought by cart to Avila to be buried there. At the beginning of the 16th century, dove coops were a popular privilege of the noble class, and Doña Beatriz, being a noble woman, had coops of her own. Teresa inherited the coop in Gotarrendura, and another servant to the Almada family, Don Alonso Benigria, took care of it for her. Would Teresa, who had now entered the convent, neglect the doves inherited from her mother? Her letters prove that not to be the case. From her cell at the Incarnation Monastery, Teresa sent orders to care for the many doves filling the coop through the cold winter months. On one occasion, she requested some of her own, writing to Señor Benigria, "It would please me very much if you would do the favor of sending me a dozen young doves on the eve of the feast of St. James." The coops brought such a tender acquaintance with the doves and their nests that, thanks to the hand of St. Teresa, they became part of Spanish literature from then on. In a book titled Life of St. Teresa, written by a monk, Friar Gabriel, and published in 1929, many other curious and interesting details about the dovecotes in Gotarrendura. St. Teresa, with her vibrant language, rich in images, goes beyond mere literary reflection. Her convents, their cells, and her nuns become genuine dove houses at the service of our Lord. And so, by means of St. Teresa, the doves and dove houses will receive mystical and literary reputation amidst the magnificent literature of the 16th century. One of St. Teresa's doves, Mother Pilar of St. Teresa from the Carmelite Monastery in Valladolid, Spain, wrote this poem. In a joyous village, Gotarrendura, there is a very old dove house almost collapsing under centuries. Little dove house, don't collapse. Don't fall down, because Mother Teresa needs your support, because she must send doves when they come down from heaven, with perfume from lilies, with clean and pure joy, with celestial fragrance and tenderness. Dove house, don't collapse, don't fall down, because Mother Teresa needs your help. She loves you, little dove house, Gotarrendura.